The dumbing and dehumanization of humanity. Now, this is a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, as over the years I surveyed personally my own community, and this is what I see. I see a lot of girls, and because they are girls, they have sex at very young ages where it'd be shocking, and I see a lot of violence, and I just look at it as the perfect people to program. The perfect example of programming, and not to mean that everyone's stupid, but it's just there's a lot of people, and it happened to me when I was younger that fall for these traps. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about the dumbing and the dehumanization of humanity. How I believe all these Ritalin, Prozac, all these pills that really fuck with your head. There's a reason that they're out there. There's a reason that these prescription pills, the pharmaceutical mafia, they push these drugs, because it keeps you dumb, docile, okay? It fucks with your mind, and that is the whole goal over there. They don't want you looking at what they do. They want you focused on everything else. That's why, in my high school, I believe that there was a mentality that they tried to give you in my high school, that everything's a rat race. You gotta step over everyone else to get your piece of the cheese. Fuck everyone else. You get in line and you do what we think you should do, because that's the only way you're gonna succeed. And if you don't agree with that, which I never agreed with it, then fuck you. But I don't believe that. And the reason why I'm spreading this message is because, look, I'm an adult. I'm 20 years old. I'm old enough to know better. I'm old enough to do my own research, and I'm old enough to come up with my conclusions, and I'm old enough to, whatever mistakes I made, to go back and correct them. I'm talking about the next generation of kids, the babies that are born, the 5 to 6 year olds, the people that are gonna be teens in a couple of years. My thought is that the purpose of every generation is to make life better for the generation that comes after it. That means I want the next generation to be smarter than I am, to be better critical thinkers, to be better at intellectual self-defense, and to be able to warp out of this programming that is fed to us since we were younger. Because this is programming. This is not the Matrix. This is not some crazy sci-fi movie. Programming is very real, okay? There are geniuses that these people employ to try to control the way we think. Well, what do all these commercials, okay? Look at the TV. What do all these commercials promote? You gotta look a certain way. You gotta dress a certain way. Okay? Because this is the standard. And if you're not the standard, then you're just an outsider. You're a nobody. And, that's the whole thing. Because if you have a low self-esteem, if you're not willing to accept yourself, then you damn sure are not ready to help others and do what we got to do in our communities and our cities to combat what is being thrown to us daily. And that's what I believe is going to change everything. We have to start with our communities, start with our cities, start with each other. Because like I said, my friends, we always say the powers that be, and yes, they do a lot of fucked up things. I agree with you 100%, and we expose them all the time. We call them on their fuck ups. Well, to us it's fuck ups, it's common sense, but to them it's all part of an agenda. But we have to realize we have to look at ourselves first, okay? Because it starts with us, okay? We can change things. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I can change things, okay? It may not be a monumental change. It may not be changing the world. It may not be changing my own city. But I will start with my community, and if I could change one person's minds, not that I'm programming them, but if I can help them open their minds and help them realize what's going on and realize that this is not going to benefit anybody, then you know what? I've done well. And if I can convince more people, then you know what? That's just an added bonus, because that is my goal, okay? One person is not going to change things. Nobody's Superman, but we can all make changes in our communities, and most importantly, ourselves. This is what I stress. We make changes within ourselves, because the masses, and this is including us, because we are part of the masses, okay? Because they still try, even though a lot of us don't fall for it or get programmed by it, they're still trying to feed it to us. They teach us at a young age that this is why we get violence shoved in our faces all the time, because they want us to be normal. They want it to be like that. We hear people getting shot or people getting stabbed and all this high crime rate and everything that's just getting worse with humanity, and they want us to think that it's normal. Hey, that it's okay, that's the way it is. The world is a violent place, but we can change this. We can make it better. And no, I'm not some ideology. Sorry, I always have a problem saying that word, but basically I'm not a hippie that thinks that, you know, we're all gonna get together on a bonfire and sing Kumbaya, because no, that's not the way it is. But damn it, whenever I look into my niece's eyes, I don't want her to grow up in a world that be my age, 20 years old, with higher unemployment, higher distress, and more violence, and just, you know, drones flying over her head. Because it comes down to this: either you are against drones flying over your cities, the mass surveillance society where they're hearing everything you're saying, you know, poison in your food and in your water. And no, I don't mean, you know, and people always try to say, oh, well, you mean poison? No, not rat poison. It ain't gonna kill you in you know, a half minute. That's too obvious. I'm talking about slowly killing you, okay? You know, things like that. Either you're, you know, a world war, God forbid, either you're against that or you're for it. And like I said, I've never met any person that is sane of mind that is for it, okay? Now, you know, this is, you know, solutions. People always talk about solutions. Well, you know what? I'm gonna throw my 2 cents in. I believe that whatever menial differences that we have against each other, we need to put it aside, because you know what? If we are just loners in this and we just hate people for stupid reasons, and I'm talking about real stupid reasons, then you know we're just like the bowling pins at the bowling alley. And the people that want to control us, they're throwing strikes every time, you know? It starts with our communities, you know? We have to, you know, grow our own food. Make sure that the people in our community know what's the deal, you know, what's the game, what's going on. Because when we start with our communities, and our communities become very strong and active and independent, then we can start with everything else. We can make an example for this whole world, you know, and especially the next generation, because that's what it's all about, okay? The way I look at it is, if things are going on the path that they are now, then by the time all these kids are my age, like my niece, she's only like a year and a half years old, they're my age, I'm 20, then you know what? There's basically going to be no hope. And you know what? If I got to die to stop that, then I got no problem fucking dying. I don't care. I don't want to live in a world that's like that anyways. Okay? But I'm not gonna commit suicide. No, I will do whatever I can to help this world get better. Okay? Even if it comes at my own life, I do not give a fuck. I don't care who's spying on me. Let them listen to me. Let them know that I'm a pissed off American and I'm mad at what the fuck they're doing. Let them know that. Tell them to go fuck themselves. But anyways, you know, thank you for listening, and I promise I'll try to make it shorter. It's just, you know, when I go on these little rants, you know, I kind of like, you know, at first I start off stuttering, and then I kind of get into them. Then I realize that I do have a time limit, so these will get better over time. So thank you for watching my videos, and, you know, if you want to subscribe, but, you know, even if you did watch it, even if you just did watch my videos, thanks, and have a good one.